Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're back with the season 2 premiere of the Business Blueprint. Those of you that were at season 1, as you can see, I was juggling different names. I had to figure out what should I call it, but I landed on the blueprint because if you came to all 36 episodes last season, every person I brought a different blueprint to success. And why not start it off right? So as you can see, you saw the promo flyers, Facebook, Instagram. Some people, I text you directly. I got on everybody's nerves. If you're a member to Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network, I sent you flyers. I know, I'm sorry, but I was excited about this brand new show. So if those that don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name is Quentin McDougald. I'm the host of the Business Blueprint. I'm the owner of the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network. As you see, my hands are all crazy. I'm also the owner of Nothing But Web Business Consultant and Web Design. This Business Blueprint show, I handpick different people to come on. These people are the top of the game. Soribel is no other than the best. And I started off the season with her. So let me introduce you to Soribel. So those that don't know who she is, she actually reached out to me last year, and we were supposed to do this episode, I think, Soribel, October, November, but then the holidays came, you got sick, and then we decided, you know what? We're going to start the brand new season off with a bang, and this is what we're going to do. So let me give you my introduction to her. She has 25 years, yes, 25 plus years of experience as a licensed psychotherapist. Not only is she a psychotherapist, she is the owner of a multi-million-dollar practice called SM Psychotherapy and Clinical Counseling Services. I hope I didn't mess that up, Soribel. I'm sorry. That her particular practice is the home of 25 plus therapists and growing. So if you know any therapists that are looking for a home, just finished they got out of school, this is the place to go. And not only that, tonight she's going to talk about what you need to do to build the perfect business plan, not only the perfect, but the $1 million business plan. She'll talk about her 8 pillar success. She'll talk about her amazing event, which she'll talk about coming up in May. And if you're watching now, she has a special discount offer. She told me the price point of it, and it's insane. But for you, she's got something for you. She's got something special for you. So stick to the end or rewatch if you didn't do it. But again, without further ado, the first episode of season 2 of the Business Blueprint, starring Soribel Martinez. Soribel, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited to be here. As Quentin said, we tried to do this last year, but then I got COVID and then things got complicated with the holidays. But guess what? We are here in the beginning of the year, and this is what is important, that we are here. So I want to invite you to do one thing right now. I want you to get a notebook, a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, get some water, and let's talk about the 3 steps that I have taken in my business to unveil the magic in my business plan. So I'm going to teach you the same thing so you can do the same. I am not a traditional business coach and mentor. I'm going to teach you some things that, may be part of your traditional business plan, but I want to push you and I want to stress you to think outside of the box and to think about really what it takes to build $1 million and beyond business. And the truth is that in order to do that, success has a blueprint. Success has some steps that we need to take on a regular basis. Success has steps and actions that we need to take in order to become the person that we want to become, so we can bring forward all the potential that God has put in us, whoever your God is put in us, your creator put in you, in order for you to fulfill your purpose and your vision and your mission. And in order to do that, there are a few things that we have to do, because I believe that we were not created to just have a job. I believe that we were created to work. There's a difference between having a job and working. Your work is connected to your purpose, right? And a lot of times we are in these jobs and we are not connected to what we really were created to do, right? And sometimes a job can become our work, but a lot of times I see people with jobs who are, it's not their work. And I see a lot of people in business who business is not the work that they were called to do. So I know he's introduced me, but let me just tell you a little bit more about me. I'm Soribel Martinez. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I came to this country when I was about 12 years old and went through all the challenges that an immigrant will have here in the United States, not speaking the language, but yes, having a lot of dreams. When I was 7 years old, I dreamt of being a business owner, having a nonprofit organization. I wanted to help people and I wanted to become a leader. And but the problem was this, that I didn't have a role model. I didn't have a hero that could teach me how to become the woman that I wanted to be. I have parents that will push me to get educated, to be better, to do better. But I didn't know anyone that looked like me that was doing what I wanted to do. Right. So in my book, Unbreakable, I say this is my book. Unbreakable is a best-selling book that you can get on Amazon. It's called Unbreakable, and there's a reason why it's called Unbreakable, because the truth is that I didn't have anyone to be my hero to show me how to become $1 million business. I didn't have anyone that has done what I did in my family. So I always say this: everyone deserves a hero. Everyone needs a hero. But the problem is that sometimes we don't have one. So we have to become our own hero. And we do that by becoming unbreakable. And we do that by reconnecting with our purpose. And we do that by creating a big vision that is so big that every time you think about it, you want to pee on yourself. Because if you have a vision that you're comfortably making happen and it doesn't make you scared and it doesn't make you like shake and it doesn't make you think about it twice, then that vision is too small. And I want to invite you to dream bigger and to have a bigger vision. So I came from the Dominican Republic. Went to high school here, got a full scholarship to go to college, but the reality is that I was not ready to be in college. I had natural intelligence, but I was not prepared. Why? Because I grew up in what people call the hood here, where I went to a really bad high school. There was a lot of fight, drugs, alcohol, sex, all the things. And honestly, I wanted to be different, but I really academically, I was not being prepared. So I went to college on a full scholarship with a dictionary, taking a dictionary everywhere because my English was not perfect then. It's not perfect now. And I'm not pretending to be perfect because with all those challenges, I was able to go to a school, get a 2 degrees in 4 years and a half in biology and psychology. I was able to go to medical school for 2 years. I have a master's in psychology and master's in social work and master's in business administration. And I'm not want to tell you that to brag, but I want to tell you this to show you what is possible for us, for you and for me. So with that being said, I wrote Unbreakable, and now I have this beautiful book that is on pre-sale right now. You can pre-order it on mmdppbook.com, and you can get $1,000 worth of bonuses if you pre-order this book. This book is going to be launched in May, and I will tell you more about that. So here's the thing: I believe that everything is possible. Don't talk to me about this is not possible, this is too hard, this no, everything is possible for those who are able to believe. And we have to believe in three things. We have to believe in that person that created us and sent us to this world with a purpose. We need to we need to believe in ourselves, and we need to believe in humanity. As bad as the world is, there's still great human beings in this world. Think about yourself, think about the people around you, right? So we have to really believe that everything, absolutely everything is possible, even with the challenges, with the problems, with crisis, and all the things. So the way we're going to do this is, I don't like presenting with PowerPoints. Take your notes. You're going to have the recording. Make sure that if you have any questions that you ask them, I will be interacting with you to see what questions you have. Ask anything you want. You can ask me about personal things, business things, in between things. It doesn't matter to me. I'm an open book because I want to help entrepreneurs to make more money. Why? Because money is just a representation of the impact that we're creating in the community. A lot of times people say, well, but you only think about money. Well, what else are what we're going to think about? Money is what allow us to help people like I do with my nonprofit JC Precious Mind Foundation in the Dominican Republic. We help families and children with special needs in the Dominican Republic, especially autism, so they can thrive. So we provide them with food, education, treatment, anything that they need, shoes, clothing, rent, books, anything that they need, transportation to go to school so they can thrive. So yes, money is important. And the reason why we are in business is for three things. So we can create massive impact in the world, so we can have revenue, and we can have profit. And if you don't have those three things in your business, then what we're doing, we're playing dolls. We're playing games, and we're not here to play games. We are here to create a massive impact in the world, because that's what we were created to do. So now, let's get started. Let's get started. Do you have any questions so far? Drop your questions there. If you don't understand something, ask me again. I'm okay. My English is not perfect. I already said that, so I don't have any problems repeating something. Maybe you didn't understand a concept. Please just let me know, because I'm in for the winning and I want you to get the best out of this. So here's the thing. In one of my pillars of business success, in the MMDPP framework that it is also trademark, one of the things that I talk about a lot is one of the most important things that you need in your business. And is developing $1 million business mindset. And the reason why I say this, and I believe this so deeply, is because 90% of the success of your $1 million beyond business is a spiritual and mindset. 5 to 10% of your business, the success of your business, is strategy and skills. Did you get that right? Yes. The first thing that we need to do to unveil the success of your business plan is to develop $1 million business mindset. Because a lot of times we have all the skills and we have all the strategies in the world, and we're still not making money. And the reason why we're not making money, although we have the skills and the strategies, is because our mindset is poor. Our mindset, the way we think about ourselves, the world, our vision, our purpose, our mission is poor. So we are only able to create based on what we can produce. And what we can produce is start in between our ears, in this beautiful brain, in our mindset, the way we think, the way we look at the world, the way we process the world, and the way that we are willing to take information and transform it into action. So one of the things that we have to do in order to build $1 million mindset is really do a deep evaluation of who we are. A lot of times, as business owner, we don't have identity, right? We don't know who we are deeply. We don't know where we come from, and we don't know where we're going. And the worst thing that a person can do is have no identity. Because when you don't know who you are, do you understand when I tell you who you are? It's so much deeper than I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm from Dominican Republic, I'm from El Salvador, I'm from America, I'm from Europe. It's so much more than that. It has everything to do with your perspective as a visionary. It has everything to do with your perspective as a leader. And a lot of times we forget who we are because we are constantly following everyone else. And sometimes we're following the person that are blind. And we are not realizing that we need to cultivate a visionary perspective, that we have to become our own leaders, that we have to develop a personal leadership, that we have to develop a mindset that says that everything is possible, that we are willing to deeply develop who we are so who we are can show up in our businesses. And I'm going to tell you what I mean about this. A lot of times we have gone through um, trauma. Sometimes we depress. Sometimes we have anxiety. Sometimes we have family problems. Most of us have come from dysfunctional families, right? Not every one of us were born rich and with really healthy money mindset, right? And all of these things are constantly manifesting themselves in our businesses, and we sometimes don't understand why business is not working. And it's not working because you are showing up with all the trauma, with all the challenges, with all the issues to our businesses, and we fail to address them. We fail to build a growth mindset. We fail to understand that we have every single potential that is necessary for us to fulfill our purpose, our vision, and our mission is available inside of us. And a lot of times we are not connected deeply inside of us. We have been disconnected from that purpose, right? And you may feel empty. You may feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's because you have not understood yet that you are a leader. That leader is a visionary. It's a person that dreams big, that understand the broad impact that your business can bring into the world, that you are the person who is hiring right now. I know Quentin said 25 plus, but we about 40, 45 mental health practitioners, not including the administration, right? So we are about 60 or more of us in my practice, right? And that happened because I decided that I was going to stand up and be the leader that I was called to do. That there was no dream that were too big for me to accomplish. I was a school social worker making $100,000 as a school social worker, but I was a single mom. I'm still a single mom. I'm a single mom of a 16-year-old son. And what was happening is that the opportunities that I wanted to give to my son as a Black man were too big for the money that I was making. My son was going to private school and it was eating most of the money. The tuition was eating most of my $100,000. So I decided that I was no longer willing to not give my son and continue to give my son the opportunities that he deserved. And $100,000 was not doing it for me, right? He likes to play the violin. He plays the drums. I want him to have this opportunity. I want him to go to conferences. He has his own personal life coach, right? So these things are available when you believe and you think that you are capable of creating the life that you want. And that begins with becoming a visionary, becoming a person with vision. And stop looking at what is in front of you with your normal eyes and begin to look at your life through the eyes of a vision that is bigger than you, bigger than anything else that you can think of, right? So the impact that you create in the world by hiring people, providing people with job opportunities, allowing people to come to your world and be able to also develop their own leadership, right? And also do work that they love doing and also fulfilling their own purpose through the vision of your own business is extremely important. And this mindset needs to be guided by strategic decisions. And we need to make inspiring innovation, inspiring decisions that will allow us to think outside of the box. And one of the things that I hear business owners doing all the time is that they want to do everything in their businesses. They want to be the secretary. They want to be the attorney. They want to be the accountant. They want to do their own taxes. They want to do their own finances. They want to do their own billing. They want to do everything. And that is impossible for a person who has a great vision to create that vision solo. It's impossible. Everyone has a purpose and a reason why they were created. And when you, as a business owner, are doing everything, you are doing everything in your business, you are taking away from the opportunity for you to scale up and deep. because your job is to work on your business, not in your business. Does that make sense? Your job is to work on your business, not in your business. That requires a mindset, a certain type of mindset. You have to think a certain kind of way in order to grow and scale bigger and deeper, right? And also think about this. When you are doing everything, you are not allowing yourself as the great leader to have an unbreakable leadership self-care practice. And we get burnt out easily. Why? Because we are doing everything and we are giving to others from a place of lack, not from a place of abundance. So we need a visionary mindset. We need a leadership mindset, a mindset of a person that understands why is he and her calling, and she's willing to do whatever it takes. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to relinquish that power. You know, that power that you think that you are the only one that can do the thing? That's not true. There are people out there that are prepared to do that particular thing better than you. Your job is to be the king and the queen of your kingdom or your kingdom. Your job is to become the person that is a leader and that can lead others to success. Make sense? Questions? Ask them. The next thing, in order to build a $1 million business mindset, is to really embrace learning and being able to create a path of a person that's willing to learn all the business skills and strategies that are necessary to build a solid business. And a lot of times I find people that they don't like to invest in themselves. They don't like to invest in business skills, right? They prefer to do everything else, watch TV, do whatever they do before they read a book, before they go to a conference, before they go to a seminar, before they go to the workshop, before they do all these things to really nurture their mind so that we can reprogram our DNA. Our DNA needs to be reprogrammed like a person that thinks like $1 million. Because if you think poor, you will produce poor. If you think rich, you will produce rich. Because whatever is in our mind and our brain is what is going to get manifested. Does that make sense? So you need to understand you need to understand really what is it that you need to learn. And I do, and the way that I identify what I need to learn next is I do what I call the SGOT analysis. I do an analysis every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, and once a year. And that is in my calendar, right? And I do that because I want to understand what are my strengths. What are my strengths as a business owner? Then next, I want to understand what are the growth area. Do I need to hire a speaking coach? Do I need to hire a business coach? Do I need to hire a coach that helps me build successful events? What do I need to get to the next level? Because the next level requires a new woman. The next level requires a new man. The next level requires someone that's willing to do what nobody else should do, or what other people don't want to do, right? We do things that the average person is not willing to do, right? Why? Because the success that we can taste is the success that is beyond what the average person is doing. We do what extraordinary people do. So we adopt a growth mindset that values progress over perfection. This is why I don't care if my English is not perfect. And I have written 2 books, and I'm reading my next book on marketing. I don't care. I don't care. I still went to school. Yes, I had to walk around with a dictionary like this. And my first semester was the most horrible semester in my whole entire life. It was terrible. But I was not willing to give up. I was willing to view my challenges as opportunities for growth. I remember when the pandemic hit, I remember how desperate and how many therapists were crying and talking about how they didn't know how it was going to work to do therapy via Zoom. And I still know therapists are still crying about how therapy through Zoom doesn't work. And I remember that the day I came home the night before they shut down the country. I came home on that Sunday night from swimming with the dolphin with my son. And the next day, the first thing what I did was I took every single client and taught them how to use Zoom. I was on Zoom from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way to 9 o'clock, teaching everyone how they can use Zoom so we didn't lose business. By the way, my business grew during the pandemic over 95%. You know why? Because of the mindset that I had. Because I was now willing to just allow myself to think that the adversity was going to be bigger than me. You cannot allow the adversity to be bigger than you. Every challenge, every adversity, every problem, every crisis has in itself, listen to this, has in itself an opportunity for you to grow. You know how many millionaires became millionaires during the pandemic? Many, maybe not you or maybe not me, right? Because we were thinking how hard it was. People were more important, that were more focused on getting that little money versus what can I do with that money so I can duplicate that money and make it work for me. Right? So every opportunity that you get to learn something new will allow you to spend, to be a better person, to be the king and the queen that you were created to do, to build your kingdom or your queendom. Next, in order to build $1 million business mindset, you need to commit to resiliency. We cannot give up at the first sign of a problem. And this is the problem. A lot of times we think that we do one thing one time and it doesn't work, and we want to start sitting in a corner crying. And we forgot that in order to win in this world, we need to be persistent. Perseverance is one of the things that you need in order to overcome. Life, business ownership was not created for the weak. It was created for those that were willing to be resilient, for those that are willing to bounce back from the dirty shit. When you feel that you can't do it no more, you say, I get it. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm this. I'm that. However, I'm going to bounce back bigger and better, because every setback is a way to renew your strength. It's a way for you to become adaptable to circumstances and situation. So instead of crying how clients were not going to be able to do telehealth, I decided that I knew that we were in the middle of a crisis. And when people are in a crisis, they need support. And I started hiring like crazy. Right? And I made more money during the pandemic than any other time, because I was not willing to let a crisis be bigger than my vision and my purpose in the world, which is to help people. And people needed help. So when people need help, then what we have to do, we have to show up and give them exactly what they need. So we need to pivot in our businesses. We need to have a business model that makes sense. We need to we need to respond to crises and problems in our businesses like the queen and kings that we are. And now we need to show up in a way that nobody else will show up. Because guess what? People are so worried about the competition. And for me, I only look at the competition for two things: to see what they're offering and to see what they're not offering. And if they're not offering something, I'm going to find a way to bring it to the market. Yes, that's how I wrote books. That's how I wrote books, because I figured that many therapists were not authors. And I figured that many therapists were not doing this and this and the other. And I said, I'm going to survey my clients and I'm going to see what else my clients need from me. And when I survey my clients say, we want books, we want courses, we want workshops, we want you speaking, we want you giving us that energy that you have and that passion. And what did I do? I started creating that. Because it's not about competing. It's about differentiating ourselves from everybody else, so we become the leader in the sector in which we are producing the work that we do. Because we no longer have a job. We no longer have a job. People who have a job are people that are being told what to do. Business owners, we need to be committed to our purpose and our vision. Nobody tells me to get up in the morning, whether if I'm feeling good, bad, or indifferent, right? I need to get up because I know what is my responsibility to my purpose and to my vision. And how I'm going to do that in the world is providing psychotherapy, counseling, psychiatric services, immigration evaluation services. I'm about to launch an EAP program, a national EAP. Yes, I'm going to launch a national EAP. We are going to be launching a case management program. We just recently launched an in-home program. We're going to be launching in school-based programs and programs for the elderly in this year. My goal is to hire 100 therapists this year in 2024. Watch me do it. Why? Because my mindset is determined to be the leader in the mental health sector. So what is your specialty? Who do you serve? What is the area of genius that you have? Become the best at it. I remember in 2009, I was diagnosed now with just one, but two brain aneurysms. Two brain aneurysms. And I remember that when I was looking for a neurosurgeon to do the brain surgery, I was looking for the best. And I can tell you that doctors that are general neurosurgeons make less money than doctors who are neurosurgeons that specialize in brain aneurysms. My doctor charged $1 million for my surgery. Why? Because he specialized in something, because he was the leader in that sector, in that area. When I interviewed him, he said, I eat brain aneurysms every day. That's how I feed my family. I said, you are the man that I want. And he was the last person that I interviewed because I had interviewed dozens of people at Yale, New York, Florida, Cleveland, Ohio, and Massachusetts and Boston. And he was the man that told me, I eat aneurysms every day. That's how I eat every day and I feed my family. So who am I going to go to? To the generalist or I'm going to go to the specialist? So he has the right to charge for that because he has the credentials, because he is the leader. So how did that man become that person? He built $1 million mindset. So he can charge $1 million for the services that he provides. And he didn't apologize for it. He didn't apologize for it because he was the best at what he did. Now, what questions do you have about developing $1 million business mindset? Do we have any questions? Let's see.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hi, first, I want to thank you for coming on. I can tell that you are a force of nature, and I really appreciate that. I love seeing strong women owning what they do and loving it. Um, but my question is, what is something that a new business owner can do every day to change their mindset?
Work on your mindset. Have a journal. Every day I'm working on my mindset. I think about those experiences in your life that have messed up your mindset, whether if it's mindset with money or how you show up as a business owner now, right? We have a lot of maybe if you grew in poverty, or maybe you grew up with money, but you still have a perception about money that is weird, right? That doesn't make you feel comfortable about making money. Not every woman, not every man feels comfortable talking about money, because think about the things that you were taught about money. Think about the things that you were told when you were growing up, that money was bad, that money didn't go on tree, that money is this, money is that. But at the end of the day, it's the one thing that we need to survive, and it's the one thing that we need to help others, right? Because if we poor, we can't help others. So what I suggest you doing is taking your journal and do exercises like this. One, identify the situation or the experience that you had that made you think negatively about your purpose, your vision, your mission, money, and how you show up in the world, right? Then identify who was the person who kind of like was behind that experience. Was it your mom, your dad, a teacher, a friend, a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, your husband, people around you, your aunt? For example, my aunt, when I used to say that I was going to be a leader and that I was going to be rich and I was going to make a lot of money, they used to tell me, like, no, you're not. Stop it. Stop dreaming. That's what my aunts used to tell me. But they didn't tell me that because they were trying to put me down. They were saying that because that was their experience, right? So they were trying to not let me get disappointed if I didn't get where I wanted to get, right? So you need to identify those people. And then the third point is you need to release and you need to forgive those people who influence you negatively. Allow them to be released from your soul, to be released from your mind, and then rewrite that story. How did you experience that story? What was the meaning that you give to that story? And then when you understand that, then you rewrite the story with the new knowledge that you have. I read every day. If you see me here in this office, you'll be like, sorry, Belle, you crazy. I read every single day. I read every single day because if you read, you are able to open your mouth and you have information that will impact the life of others. And the way that I've been able to shift my mindset and build $1 million mindset, now I'm working on building the $1 billion mindset. Because there's one mindset for millions of dollars. There's a different mindset for billions of dollars. Because you need to show up differently in the world to make billions. You don't think the same way. You don't look at the world the same way. You don't take the same actions. You don't speak the same words. You don't hang out with the same people. It's a different thing. So you have to read the books. Read the book, We Should All Be Millionaires. And read my book, Unbreakable. My book, Unbreakable, you can get a book.soribel.com. Read that book about resiliency. Read the book, We Should All Be Millionaires. And if you are a woman of color, I recommend that you read the book. Where is the book? It's around here somewhere. I'm looking for it. We Millionaire, Black Women Millionaire. Black Women Millionaire.
I'll
Is
definitely check that out.
Black Women Millionaire. It helps you transform your mindset around what women went through slavery and how we change our mindset about making money, being rich, and all of that stuff. We Should All Be Millionaires. It's about another Black woman. And read Unbreakable.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much, Soribel. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, you are so welcome. Yes, yes. Who? Another question.
Yeah. I'll read it for Tasha unless you're going to do it. She asks, what was the biggest mindset block that you personally had to overcome?
When I was diagnosed with the two brain aneurysms, honestly, I thought I was going to die. My son was 3 years old. I had to stop breastfeeding him because I needed to figure out treatment. And I thought I was going to die every single day. And it was a really difficult time of my life. And I remember that I'm a therapist. I always been in therapy. I will always be in therapy because I believe that every person should be supported. And I went to a psychologist and I told the psychologist what was going on in my life. And he told me, Soribel, you better than anybody else knows that if you think you're going to die every day, you're going to die. You need to change the course of your life by how you think and what you're thinking. And when he told me that, when I remember the reason why I wrote Unbreakable is because when I left his office, I said, I am going to be unbreakable. I will do everything that it takes to be alive. If God wants me here, I will do my part. And I did my part and I changed my mind. I went from thinking that I was going to die every day to planning how I was going to walk out of the hospital, Hartford Hospital, actually. And I remember that if you don't know what brain aneurysms are, it's very dangerous. You can die. And I just didn't have one, I had two. And I remember that I did a lot of mindset work, a lot of shifting the way I was thinking about life. And it has helped in my business too, because in business, you go through a lot of things that you have to be really resilient. You have to be strong. You have to ask for help. You need to have support, right? And I remember that I had brain surgery on the 24th of September. It was a Friday. I went home on Monday walking on my own feet, right? And part of that is the universe, God doing his part. But trust me, if I would have went into that surgery thinking that I was going to die, I would have died, even if it was not my time. Or I would have come out of that surgery not walking, not speaking, and messed up. because the mind has a lot of power. And for us, we have to reprogram not just our mind, but our DNA, because our DNA needs to change so we can pass it on to the next generation. And we do that by reading the books, by hanging out with the right people, by being in contact with people that are doing great things to the world, people that are not gossiping, but people are doing things that are significant. And I'm telling you, it will change your life forever. And every stage of your life, you have to develop the next mindset. And for me, it's the $1 billion mindset right now, because that's what I'm walking towards. That is my goal, right? And you can do it if you get a journal. I get journals like this. I have bigger ones over there. Um, I'm constantly writing about my mindset, where I want to be, what I'm doing, how many employees that I want, how do I want to impact the world. Another question.
Any other
Ask
questions?
the question. Any other questions?
If not, I'm gonna come on. All right, here I come.
Great. So the first step to unveil your $1 million business plan is you have to build a $1 million business mindset, right? The next thing is you have to create a $1 million brand. And let me tell you something, for those of you that think that you don't need a brand, everything that you have in your house, everything that you wear, everything that you look at in the world has a brand. Everything. You can go to Walmart and the cheapest shirt has a brand. So what we need to do in order to build a $1 million brand is we need to have a unique value proposition. We need to be able to articulate what makes your brand unique and why customers should come to you versus the competition. And for me, my attitude is I don't have competition. I only go to the competition to see what's missing. And then I'm going to create it for my customers if it makes sense, right? So why should your customers choose you versus the competition, versus the next person? What is the story behind your message, right? What is it that inspires your customers? What is your messaging? What is it that you're promising your clients that your services are going to do? SM psychotherapy and counseling services help women and their families to feel better, overcome depression and anxiety, so they can build meaningful relationships with their loved ones. That is the message. What's the story behind that? I'm the story behind that, because I've been able, as a Black woman, single mom, overcome so many things so I can build not just meaningful relationship with my son, but those people around me and with other people that are in a relationship with me professionally, right? So that message needs to target a particular audience. What does your audience need? What does your audience want? What inspires your audience? What are the pain points, right, that your audience have that you can be the solution to the problem? People need someone that can give them a solution to the problem. People need people that are willing to go the extra mile to create a strong emotional connection with your brand. People say, so Louis Vuitton, he's dead and his brand is stronger than ever. Go read his story. Go read the story behind the man that created the brand. Go read his story and you will see. Go read the story behind Amazon. Go read the stories of the men and the women that were poor, that didn't have anything, that created the best vision of their lives because they knew that there was a problem and they needed to fix it. And don't tell me, oh, people don't have money to buy my services. That's a lie. People have money for what is important to them. This is why their brands are high-end brands and their brands don't charge so much. And then you can find that same brand, that same person has two types of services, one that's high-end and one that is in the lower end, because there is a service, there's a customer for every service, right? Let me see, someone has a question, I think. How do you keep your spiritual mindset positive during trials and tribulation? My connection with my creator. Praying, meditating, releasing, and put it in God's hand. And on top of that, then I do what I need to do. Because there is a thing, God is always working in your favor. Whether if you see it or not, he is always working for you. The problem is that sometimes we want God to work for us, but we forget that we need to work for ourselves. You move, he moves. You move, he moves. He's not going to be moving and you're sitting watching TV all day. He's not going to move when you're not doing the spiritual work. He's not going to move when you are not out there building your brand and talking about your messaging. I remember when I first created the JC Foundation, Precious Mind Foundation, I was getting money out of my pocket to take care of the kids in the Dominican Republic. And then what happened is one day I was talking to someone that knows someone that has a lot of money in Wall Street, millions of dollars in Wall Street. And I was telling her about that vision and how I was helping the kids in the Dominican Republic, and I was paying for them out of pocket, out of my own money. And she said, I know someone that can help you. The rest is story. The rest is story, because that person saw the vision clearly. I told them exactly what I was doing and exactly where I wanted to go. And when they heard the story, they had no choice but to work in my favor because I opened my mouth. But sometimes we're too scared. Sometimes we are too afraid. Sometimes we don't want to ask because it's embarrassing or whatever the case may be. And we miss on the best opportunities in our lives because we are so content in not asking. And the Bible says that if you knock, the doors will be open. Oh, well, so I'm going to knock every single door. You better be sure. Every door that comes in front of me that I can tell my story and I can tell them what I'm trying to do for my community, I'm going to tell the story. And the more you do that, the stronger you get in your vision, the better your brand is, because your brand is behind a story, it's behind a purpose, it's behind an identity. So the next step is build a consistent brand identity. Who is your business? My business is not just Soribel. My business is the purpose of giving women tools so they can be reconnected to the purpose. Whether if I write a book on business, resiliency, I do a course, I do a seminar, it's all under the same purpose, is to provide women with tools that they can always bring everywhere so they can create a meaningful life that also brings them revenue and profit. So you need to have $1 million brand that is consistent, that people can recognize. I show up in a certain kind of way. If you go to my website, you're gonna know that is me. That's my personality. That's how I show up. That's how I look. That's how I speak. That's how I am passionate about what I do. So when people see me, when people see my images, when people see my colors, when people look at my videos, when I do a podcast, when I do a training, people get the same messaging. It's consistent. And people can recognize it because I am out there constantly showing people who I am and what I'm doing to create the best world that I can. Because let me tell you something, the worst thing that you can think, that you were created for heaven. You were created for this world. You were created to be here to make a difference in the world, because we have to leave this world better than when we found it. The way we found it was one way. We need to live it in a different way. And the worst thing that we can do is like, I'm going to go to heaven, and then you die with all the potential inside of you and all the notes that you were supposed to sing. You left it in the cemetery because you were afraid, because you were not resilient enough to say, I want this and I'm going to go for it no matter what. And then you may say to me, but sorry, about things does happen. Well, get support. Have a therapist, have a coach, have people that can support you, have friends, have people that mentors, and people that believe in you and believe in your vision. So you need to have a consistent messaging, visuals, and a customer experiences that will really get people going and wanting to buy your services. They want to be in your presence because you bring something different. Because when they are in your presence, they are inspired with your services, with the quality of your services, right? And then you apply that consistency to all of your marketing material, to your website, to your social media, to your products design. So when you go to my event, there is a certain kind of feel to my event. because I want people to have an experience, right? The next thing is you have to engage and delight your audience. People are looking for you to have meaningful interactions with them. People are looking for people that can really inspire them, right? Through their content. They're looking for people who have exceptional customer service, people who can build a strong community, strong tribes, people that can tell stories, and people can relate to those stories. So when I tell you, I was just not diagnosed with one but two brain aneurysms, right? And maybe you didn't have a brain aneurysms, but I'm sure that you have gone through certain adversities in your life, right? Hi, Taji. What about when I tell you that when I was 36 weeks of, pregnant, I lost my child? And that's why my foundation is called JC Precious Mind Foundation, right? So you can relate to the stories because your story is my story. My story is your story. So people want to relate to something meaningful. People want to relate to people who, a brand that has values, that has a mission, that has a vision, that you are so determined to build that community and that brand that people have no choice but to come to you. They have no choice but to come to you. Why? Because you delighted them and they become advocate for the work that you do. And you amplify their life by your pure presence. And that presence is translated and is manifested through your colors, through your messaging, to the way you communicate your vision, your purpose, your mission, the way that you show up in the world. It translates. People feel that. So we need to build $1 million brand. And if you think you don't need a brand, you are in trouble because no one that has a legacy haven't had a brand. Every person that has built a legacy, they have something meaningful to share. Tell me one book that has been written about someone that has nothing meaningful to say. A person that is not a leader. People don't want to hear about people that are not doing anything. You hear that in the news as tragedies happen. But think about the people who have written great stories. People have done great things in the world. Are people that have their pants on, who are willing to get up every day, whether if they want to or not, that are willing to do the best every single day, no matter what. I have days that I don't want to get up. I write my book on Mondays and Tuesdays. And you know how many times Mondays and Tuesdays I don't want to write? Many times. But I drag my little butt up here to come and sit here and write every Monday and every Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you call me at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm not answering the phone because I'm writing my books. So it's important to create $1 million brand, a brand that has a message that is unique, that is solving a problem in the world, that is allowing people to get inspired just by looking at your brand, by looking at what you're doing. Questions? Questions. Ask your questions. You can ask anything you want.
Hey, we're good. Keep going. We're good.
No questions?
Yeah,
No
I'll
questions,
jump.
no questions.
Yeah, let me know. I'll jump on with you. I got my last questions for you, but keep going.
Okay, all right. So the last point, I told you I was going to tell you 3 points, right? The last point is you need to build $1 million team. Hi, Soribel, but I don't have money to hire people. Oh, Soribel, I don't have patience with deal with people. Oh, let me tell you something. Building a business solo is really hard. It's isolating and it's lonely. Do you hear that? So you need to hire people that fit your values, your business values, and your vision. The problem is that have you identified your business purpose, vision, and mission? What is it that your company values in people? Do you think about diversity in skills, backgrounds, perspectives, people that have problem-solving skills, people who are willing to go the extra mile to give people an unbreakable experience? Are you looking at your team member just like a dollar sign, or are you looking at your members as people that have value, that bring something to the table? Are you willing to allow yourself to create a hiring framework and onboarding framework and have systems in place? A business that wants to grow has to have systems and supports in place. There is no one that can create $1 million business by being disorganized and not having the foundation of a business. Think about this. If we building a house, what's the first thing that we create? We don't create the top. We don't create the top of the house. We create the foundation. And think about your business as needing that foundation. And the foundation in your business is your business structure, having values for your business, having a vision, and having a mission that is clear, because it's crucial to your scalability in your business. Your business needs to go up, and needs to go deep, and it needs to go wide, right? So we're not just growing up, adding more floors, but we want to add depth to the business and length to the business. Because when we do that, what we're doing is when the adversity come and the challenges come, then it's easier for you to do an SGOT analysis, understands what are the strengths, understands what are the growth areas, understand what are the opportunities and what are the threats. But how can you evaluate something that you don't have? Most business people don't have a business plan. And they don't have a business plan, you know why? Because they think that the business is too small. The business is little. The business is miniature. So they don't look at it as something big and extraordinary, right? And when we are building something that is ordinary, we're going to produce ordinary things. When we think and we create things that are extraordinary, then extraordinary things are going to come out of it. And one of those things is hire for culture fit and diversity, right? Look at people and allow them to bring their purpose, their own purpose that they have inside of them, and let them shine by growing them into leaders. Honestly, I'm going to build leaders regardless. If they want to go, they can leave. They can leave because everybody's free. However, I'm not going to stop being who I am, right? And give people the least, not the most. My job is to be abundant in all areas of life, right? And when we hire, we need to create $1 million a hiring framework and onboarding process. And in my book, The Multi-Million-Dollar Private Practice, which has my multi-million-dollar framework, I highlight and I give people all the frameworks that they need. And including with that, with the people that work with me personally, they have this manual that I created from scratch. It has almost 800 pages. And this manual has every single framework, every single worksheet, everything that people need, all the way from their mindset, all the way to when somebody leaves the practice or their business, right? And the reason why I did that is because if I die, I'm going to take everything that I have inside of me. But if I leave a print, a blueprint, right, anybody can take it and create and duplicate exactly what I've done and more, right? The next thing is you need to invest in professional development for yourself and for your team. Why? Because the way we used to do things 20 years ago is not the way we do things now. And a lot of times people are wanting to save money, but they don't understand that if you develop your team and you have a team that really buys into your vision and your values, are people that are going to stay with you for a long time. I still have therapists that have been with me since day one. Why? Because they believe in my vision. They believe in my purpose. They believe in what I do. And I share openly with them all the things that we're doing to grow and to get to the next level. I'm open. I'm open. I don't hide things. I don't have a problem talking about money, what we're doing, how we're doing it, what we're growing, the programs that I'm going for. Um, One of the things that I offer in my practice is free psychotherapy, counseling, psychiatric services for undocumented folks. They pay nothing in my private practice. So we're not just packing the money, but we also sharing the money, because the money was created for a few things: to spend it, to share it, to invest it, to save it. Money is meant to circulate. And the more you give, the more you circulate in the world, the more money you're going to get. That's the law. It's a universal law, right? So you need to develop your team professional development through trainings, mentorship, and opportunity for advancement. Right now, my private practice is writing a book. All most of the most of the therapists are going to write a chapter in the book. We are creating this book because we believe that healing goes beyond the therapeutic chair. We want to make sure that people have a book where they can go and get skills and get tools and strategies that can help them continue to develop in their lives, right? So they're going to be part of that, right? So, so it's very important for us to share with our team what we're doing. We need to teach them about how to offer the best services, right? How to be the best employees or independent contractors they can be for your practice, for your business, for your vision. So we need to enhance their skills, right? So we can boost their loyalty and the morale of the people that join us in this mission. We cannot just think about us. We have to think about us and them, right? The last thing that you need to do is you need to foster a culture of ownership and accountability. We need to encourage our teams to really take ownership for the work and everything that they produce, the outcome that they produce for every single person that they're helping. How does it feel for them when they have a customer that is really satisfied? How does it feel to them when they feel good with the work that they're doing? For example, being able to be part of an anthology and write something significant and becoming a best-selling author. That helps them feel good, right? That increases their self-esteem, that increases their self-confidence, feeling good about themselves, that they're doing something significant in the world. Every time we have a program that our practice is giving back to the community, they feel good when I share that with them. For example, we have a mother who her house got infected with bed bugs, and she had to throw everything from her house. What did we do? We bought beds for other kids. She has 6 kids. We bought beds for them. A therapist called me from another practice. She's not even part of my team. And she was like, Soribel, I have a woman that's about to get to be homeless with 3 kids. I said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Right? So it's about all those things. And they feel good when we are doing great things in the world and we share it. A lot of business owners, they want to hide what they're doing because they think that it's going to be a bad thing. It's going to be a great thing when people know that they're doing great things, right? Or now that we're going to launch a case management program, right? Or that we help the undocumented folks and that we are helping kids in the Dominican Republic still. It's these things that people are really going to buy into in your business. So then we have to really involve them in setting clear expectations, providing them resources. For example, we blog every single week. Every single week we blog, and they're able to read the blogs and also share these blogs with our customers. Why? Because we want our customers to be able to heal beyond the therapeutic chair. This is not just about healing your old wounds, but how do we continue to heal so we can become successful in this society? How do we provide tools to women so they can become better and they can get reconnected with their purpose and they can have better relationships, right? And we want our teams to be accountable for the results that they provide for clients. How do they help them? How do they challenge them to become better, right? And it's a culture that you have to create. And that's what I'm creating with my team. Not everybody stays. Not everybody's for this vision. Not everybody's for this mission. But what I do know is that God will always put the right people in the right place. And that I was created to be a leader and to build other leaders. That I'm able to teach them everything. I don't hide anything. They can go to social media and learn everything that I learned. They know what we bring in revenue. They know because there's no hiding anything. It's about transparency. And I want you to understand that your mindset is at the top of everything. Remember, the 90 to 95% of what your business success is over here. It's not in the skills and the strategies this year. The second thing is that you have to build $1 million brand. Stop thinking everything little. Think big. If your goals and your vision is not making you literally shake, it's not too big. If you're very comfortable meeting all your goals and you're chilling like this, that's not it. That's not it. Make it times 10, 50, 100% more. Duplicate that. Make it more. Multiply it. It needs to make you scared. So scared that you have to jump back from the dirty share of being scared. And then the last thing is you have to have $1 million team. And stop thinking that you can do everything yourself. It does not work. It does not work. We need a team. Kingdoms need teams. Queendoms need teams. You need to allow other people to shine within their own purpose and life. Questions? Questions, questions, questions. I'm open for questions. Ask your questions now. You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you. So if there's no other questions, I'm gonna start my questions. My very first question, what would the 12-year-old, because you spoke about coming to America at 12 years old, what would the 12-year-old version of yourself say about everything you've accomplished today?
I don't have to tell her anything because really, this is what it is. I'm walking every step that she said when she was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, I used to stare at the stars, laying on the ground and looking at the stars, telling God that I wanted to write books, that I wanted to be a leader, that I wanted to be a business owner, and that I want to help people. And I always knew that I wanted to have a nonprofit organization. There's nothing to tell her because everything that she has gone through is exactly what she needed to go through to be here today.
Oh. My next question for you, what keeps you motivated? Because I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the chat. I'm pretty sure everyone's at home like, wow, she just goes, everything. What's the factor that continues to keep you going?
There's two things that keep me going. One is that I truly, truly in my heart believe that I was meant for extraordinary things and that I was called by God to do extraordinary things in the world. And the next thing is my son. My son is a Black man, and I refuse to allow him to be in a statistic. He will be a statistic, but it will be a different kind of one. So for me, those two things really keep me going when I don't want to go. There's times that I'm like, I don't want to do shit. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do nothing. I am tired. I just had to fire someone because she lied. Oh, this happened or this other happened. Just like every human being, I had COVID. I was sick with COVID, like the normal things of life. But then I bounced back from that dirty share of feeling bad about myself. Because the truth is, listen, everyone here, there's 13 people here. Every one of us have a reason to sit in a corner and cry. Yes or no? Raise your hand, raise your hand with the emoji, whatever, and tell me if you have a million reasons to sit in a corner and just cry. Because I do.
Everybody.
I do. I do. I have like 3 billion. Come on, raise your hand. So nobody here has the
There we
reason to
go.
sit
There's
in
two.
a
Come
corner,
on. That's
right?
3. That's me. I'm here.
One
Everybody.
of the things that we have to do in life and in business is to become transparent. Transparency is everything. I have gone through my stuff, but I bounced back like the queen that I am. Raise your hand. We have a reason to sit in a corner and cry, but we have chosen to rise above everything and to become unbreakable. That's the difference.
And
Yeah.
last question, because you put it all out there on the floor. What's the one thing that you're most proudest of?
Of myself.
Tell me more.
What's the most thing that I'm proud of?
Yeah, that's you most proud of. You've done a lot of things. talking with you, listening to your story, what's the one thing you think you're most proud of? Or two, it could be two.
I think that one of them is being a mom. Being a mom, I breastfed my son for 3 years until I was diagnosed with the brain aneurysms. I'm very proud of being his mother, and I really believe that God sent him to me as a gift, as a testament that God does miracles every single day, and that we are a channel to receive all of them. So I'm very proud of that. Everything else besides that, I am a child of God and that I understood his calling. I am proud that I listened because a lot of us have a calling and we have not listened. We've been ignoring the call and we've been ignoring what we were told to do. So I'm very proud of listening to God's call and I'm very proud of being a mom.
Perfect.
Everything else is extra. It just comes it's a bonus.
I feel a passion. Anyone else? Last question before we wrap.
Ask the questions if you want some
Axe
coaching.
away. Axe away.
As away.
So Sorbo, before we wrap today, it's offer time. Tell everybody about your event.
So I have the $1 million private practice live 2024 is happening May 15, 16, and 17. And it's happening at the Goodwin Hotel where we are going to learn my multi-million dollar private practice framework, part of it. We are going to have an extraordinary event because we do not do anything ordinary. The ordinary is for the ordinary, the extraordinary is for us. So it's going to be a great event where you're going to learn more about my multi-million dollar private practice framework. Yes, I specialize with private practice owner. However, I have other clients that are not private practice owners that are helping them build their $1 million business. You have the link right there that Quentin has shared, and you have a very special link that will be available to you until Monday, 11:59 p.m.
Monday.
Eastern
Sure.
Time, where you register at an extraordinary discount. The regular tickets are going to be $1,997. Today, if you use the code, you are going to get an extra $100 from the early bird. So your ticket is going to be like $697 for VIP. The VIP includes you to come as a VIP guest to my multi-million dollar private practice book that is launching in May, and we're having the celebration in May 18th. It's going to be a Caribbean oasis where we're going to have live music, jazz. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have food. We're going to have inspiration. You need to come. It's going to be extraordinary. My team is working on it, and Quentin has the code for you to use. You can use it. The early bird ticket come live soon, so use it, use it, and I think that you guys should come and have a good time with us. Our events are known to be extraordinary, where you're going to learn and you're going to be inspired. We're going to do a lot of networking. We have some amazing sponsors, including Channel 30, Telemundo, and some local and non-local radio stations. So you better be there. My very own publisher is also sponsoring the event. So you need to come and really have a transformational experience with us.
So Soribel, thank you. And everybody coming in tonight, thank you. As you can see, as she said, extraordinary people. This is who I'm bringing in this season. Thank you, everybody, for watching the season premiere. Before we wrap, Soribel, you have any last words for the visitors, for the viewers tonight?
My thing is, we all need a hero. We all deserve one. But at the absence of one, become your own.
Mm.
Become your own. Don't wait for no one to do for you what you can do for yourself.
So with that
Thank
being
you,
said,
Phillips.
I like it. So everyone, before we leave, put emojis in the chat. Represent for Soribel. Represent because it took a lot
Welcome.
to get her here. It took a lot to get her here. We've been really working on this since last October. Since last October, she got sick. She
Thank you.
came in. Show her some love in the chat. Soribel,
Thank you.
thank you for
Thank you.
showing up for the business blueprint and giving us your business blueprint. The $1 million, wait,
Anytime.
change that. The $1 billion blueprint, because we need to keep our
Oh,
$1
it's
billion
coming.
mindset. Thank you for coming in.
That's right.
Everyone have a great night. Soribel.
Perfect.